Do you remember the Great Recession of 2008? That was 15 years ago, and it was the worst recession that we had seen since the Great Depression. And right now I'm getting a lot of comments and people are saying, Kris, we're definitely in a recession. Is it going to be 2008 all over again? Is it going to be that bad? Check it out. I'm here in Tokyo, Japan. I've got the real estate market on my mind because it's my livelihood. It's how I've done over $2 billion worth of real estate. And me knowing the answer to this question is going to determine so much of the next decade. So today I'm going to take you on a quick journey of understanding what happened in 2008 and is history repeating itself? Let's find out. One shot, now the future is yours. Go. All right, check it out. So 2008 for me was one of the best things that ever happened to me. But not a lot of people feel that way because it was in fact a recession and a lot of people got hurt. The job market got hurt. People lost a ton of value in the real estate. So their $1 million homes became $500,000. A $500,000 home became a $300,000 home. A $300,000 home became a $220,000 home. So to some extent, everybody felt it. Now, there was a lot of things that led up to why that was so awful. But one of the reasons why it was so good for me is because real estate investors are counter-cyclical. So when the market is dropping, this is when guys like me sweep in, we go to the banks and we negotiate some of the best deals of our lifetime. Some of that is starting to happen right now. So when we're in a recession and the media says it's the worst of times, for a different group of people, it's usually the best of times. And for those people, they're called the cleanup crew because the government's not going to fix it. No one else is. That's what I did to the tune of thousands of homes. So when we take a look at the recession that we're facing right now and whether it is or isn't like 2008, which we're going to discuss in this video, one thing is for certain, now is definitely the time to buy as much real estate as possible. And by the end of this video, you're going to understand why. And if you are serious about becoming a millionaire, you're definitely going to watch this entire video, especially the end. All right, let's get really clear what happened in 2008. You need to know the term subprime mortgage. It's basically a mortgage issued to borrowers with low credit ratings. Lenders made home loans accessible to borrowers who had low credit scores and who had a high risk of defaulting. And they even sometimes had them put down, instead of 3% down on a primary residence, like nothing down. Or an investor, instead of putting 20% down, putting 10%, then 5%, and in some cases, nothing. So someone with a low credit score that doesn't have money for a down payment, someone approved that. What did you think was going to happen? By the fall of 2008, borrowers were defaulting on subprime mortgages in high numbers, and the collapse of the financial markets and the global Great Recession basically ensued. So 2008 was what I called heartbeat loans or fog and mirror loan. And that basically meant that you didn't have to really have any financial criteria to be able to get a mortgage. That was the mistake of 2008.
I'm not going to lie, this looks kind of...
Pardon?
It's down. It's down. Houston, we have a problem.
Lisa's right. So imagine that you swallowed, you've all swallowed seawater before, right? Imagine that you could condense that down to like a tiny cube, like a mile of ocean in a cube. It's like a mile of ocean. And it's like, I am one with the ocean. The highest inflation rates in 4 decades have caused U.S. consumers to turn sour on how they view their personal finances. Many economists, according to NBC, now believe interest rates are going to climb so much that a recession is likely by the end of the year. So what we have right now is a situation where people don't have a lot of confidence in our financial system. They don't have a lot of confidence in their own choices. Look at this. To buy a home, like the place where you live, costs so much money, more historically than it's ever cost before. And that means that people have less money. 62% of people are literally living hand to mouth, check to check. So what are they supposed to do? They're not supposed to have confidence when the market feels that way. And if we're going into a recession, it's only going to get worse. Now, here's the mistake that most people make. They hold on to their money. And what they do is they become better hoarders. But right now, wealth is created when you do the opposite. This is actually where you learn to take your money and invest it intelligently, because the bigger the problem, the bigger the solution. A different way of saying that, like Warren Buffett says, is when there's blood in the streets, there's money to be made. Check it out. In Japan, this is the Skytree Tower. It is the largest building in this country. Let's talk just briefly about the similarities that we do have right now in this economic landscape compared to 2008. Some things are very similar to the subprime loans talked about earlier in a new program being rolled out by Rocket Mortgage. A new product called One Plus will allow low and moderate income aspiring homeowners to buy homes in their area with as little as a 1% down payment, the company said, as well as avoid paying mortgage insurance, both of which reduces the overall cost of owning a home. By the way, mortgage insurance on even an entry-level home can be $200 or $300 or $400 a month. So for them to waive that and get rid of that, it's a big deal. But it does make the climate feel a little bit uncertain and kind of scary, because when banks behave this way, they're asking for trouble. They're asking people to qualify that normally wouldn't. Guess what happens? When those people miss their payments and they go into default, that's bad news for all of us, because banks go out of business. And we've already seen that happen a few times this year. Check it out. So this is A5 Wagyu beef. Literally, they play music to the cow. They massage it 1 to 2 hours a day, and they feed it beer. And come here, look at the marbling. Do you see how perfectly marbled it is? And when you get it cooked, it looks like this. And it is, oh my gosh, it's like butter. There's no chew. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh, that is so good. I was like, that right there, that's what we're trying to get in the States. That is like the best beef ever. Oh my gosh. Yeah. All right, so this does beg the question, is this going to happen again? Are we experiencing something similar to 2008? Rising interest rates, high inflation, an inverted yield curve, and an unexpected banking crisis have all been cited as reasons that a recession could be imminent. But you have to understand that only 2 out of every 5 recessions has a coinciding real estate market drop with a stock market drop. In other words, when we talk about a recession, yes, that's affecting the stock market. The question is, does it affect real estate? The New York Fed recession probability indicator suggested there is a 68.2% chance of a U.S. recession sometime in the next 12 months. That's the highest reading that we've had in 4 decades. And finally, despite all these factors, the U.S. labor market remains strong, and economists are divided on whether or not a recession is inevitable. But even if this recession continues, do I think it's going to affect the real estate market? Do I think the real estate prices are going to drop? I don't. I feel like the Fed over the next years is going to have to lower rates, and all that's going to do is it's going to take up the pent-up demand on 6.5 million homes, and it's going to shoot the price through the roof. Yes, in the markets that I'm investing in, not all markets, I'm wholly expecting the price of real estate to go up between $100,000 and $200,000, which is why I'm working on buying my next 1,000 homes. You pull out your calculator and you do the math on that. And if you don't want to get left behind, check this out. So it really begs the question, in this recession, should you do what the media is telling you, essentially do nothing and just wait and see? Don't do that, do this instead. Right now may not be a good time to buy a primary residence, but it's an excellent time to invest in real estate. While everyone is waiting to buy, investors are seizing the opportunity, and there's all this low demand and finding deals below the median. Real estate is also super recession proof. So investing in real estate through a buy and hold strategy has shown in past recessions to create some of the most tremendous opportunity. 2008 was the best thing that ever happened. And I told myself, the next recession that hits, I'm going to be ready. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to transact thousands of properties. And I'm going to tell you right now, I'm doing it. I'm making it happen, but I'm doing it in kind of a cool way because I'm not doing it alone. You're watching this video somewhere on social media. What you may not know is that there's a way for you to team up with me to get in on my track record over the last 20 years, $2 billion worth of real estate, 6,500 deals. If you want to cash in on that kind of success and become a multimillionaire, check this out. So here's the game. If you have $20,000, $50,000, $100,000 sitting in a 401k or an IRA, it's never going to be enough for retirement, because at the rate that you're putting money in, and it's 30-year average growing at about 6%, it means that $50,000 20 years from now will triple, meaning it'll be worth about $160,000. But that same $50,000 put into real estate earning a minimum of a 25% annual ROI, it grows 27 times bigger. The compounding effect is crazy. And if you want to see my track record of my last couple thousand homes, click the link below and learn about partnering with me. Let me show you how you can create your own financial freedom. Let me show you how to take money that you've worked your butt off to save and actually put it in a vehicle that honors the retirement that you want to give yourself. Click the link below. The information is free. let me show you a whole new world. After watching today's video, I hope you're stoked about what's happening in this recession. Because it's a recession, it's an amazing time to invest in real estate. I've lined up something very special for our next step together in your journey. The internet knows that you're going to want to watch this next Kris Krohn video. Click here. I'll see you right over there.